Alright, hello everyone. So I've just posted about half an hour ago the swing days and the hours. And that was about 11 o'clock in the evening, New York time. Let's get smashing. Let's see now. It's a new week. Now we've got, what do we have? We've got non-farm payroll. Also, we're coming into October. Alright, so as you can see, this is September all the way in there. Quite high. And we're coming into October. So let's see what we're going to do. Now this week we've got new moon happening. When's that happening? It's happening on Wednesday. So it's an eclipse on Wednesday. Got moon and sun conjunction. Coming back down into the weekly 73. It's 2,618 and 21. So we're going to mark that in. We've got room to come down into 2,618 and 21. Okay, so this is going to be a target zone for us on the weekly. On the daily, the first support, 2639, 2639, which is nice for a stop sweep to push up. Now on the daily chart you can see we've got an engulfing, and this could push down for a retracement, and that could bring us back down here or down here, which is a good buy kiss plus a gap fill. So buying at this 2,520.16 level, which is all the way down here, okay, 1820 level, is very logical. Okay, so the market wanting to push down into there is logical. Now the sell zone on the weekly, as you can see, it's out there, it's quite high, 2,763. On the daily, 2,741, which as you can see is like, they're both high. Okay, so if I do this, 41 and 63, yeah, I think. Okay, so I've got 63 there at 84. Okay, 2763. Do I have anything else there? Nope. Okay, so that's basically it. The LCL one is just too far out, okay, which is fine. I don't mind going out for that, but I want to buy if it comes down. All right, so those are the levels. So mark your swing hours. The swing days I've also posted. So Monday, Tuesday, let's take it in. Today is Monday. Remember, Friday was also a swing day. So pushing down today is logical if the market is at swing highs, like, you know, like here. You see there's a bit of a gap here. So if we're back up here, testing the highs of last week or Friday to push down, I'm happy to sell it off. Okay, so that's gold. And remember, we've got non-farm payroll coming in this week. So match the swing day to the news and everything should be just fine. And also on gold, I've made a comment about the swing days. So, you know, just take a look at that as well. Let's take a look at the euro dollar. Now with the euro dollar on the weekly, as you can see, last week's a bit of an indecision. Okay, but at the end of the day, last week we still had the highs and the lows, so it's all good. And this zone I did say is going to be a sell zone, so that's what the market seems to be doing, and that's a nice sweep over here. Okay, so what to do with this? Well, also Monday is a swing day for gold, so let's mark that in. As you can see, we've got divergence here as well, so selling looks like the logical thing to do. Your first support is 53, 1138, so we definitely have to break 1138 and 1106. So that being said, there'll be targets that the market will want to come down to. So 1138 is going to be there. Okay, and 1106. Let's do this, or I'll just move this up into 1106. Okay, so once again, if we're up somewhere, to sell is not a bad idea. There's a bit of a gap here, but a small one. In any case, if the market does a sweep up, I think selling is not a bad idea at all. Okay, so pulling down into the weekly at 60, 1102. So 1102 is also going to be a zone for us. So this zone is actually a nice support, because on the daily it's there, on the weekly it's there. Okay, now that 73 is 1355, so it's a bit too far out for selling. 66 is 1246. If anything like with the news happens, you can sell at 1246 if it's going to be a trading hour. Okay, but personally I think this should be pushing us at least into there. And if you take a look at the monthly, okay, we've kind of like done this, so a bit of a pullback is in order. So selling from the highs I don't think is a bad idea at all, and we can actually come all the way back to 1.10, and this zone is also not a bad zone. All right, so yeah, so this zone is okay. There are no gaps here on the daily, as you can see, so it's pretty straightforward. Sorry, this is the weekly. On the weekly there are no gaps there, and that 1.10 is pretty much there, and yeah, this is pretty much filled in as well. So a bit of a pullback is okay. If the market does come back, maybe we'll come all the way into this zone too, because okay, that's a double top. If it breaks that level, then we should at least pull into that zone, because you can mirror that into there. Okay, so once again, selling I don't think is a bad idea from the highs on the euro dollar. SP 500, let's take a look. Now on the monthlies you can see like we're like breaking out, it's all good. On the weekly we're like breaking out, so we've got support level at 62.62, which is 568493. So 568493. Okay, so this zone is going to be your support zone. This is on the weekly. Just going to refresh that because the weekly pivot is up here right now. Okay, and on the daily, if I want to sell 71, 5785, 5785, doesn't look too bad if it gets up there. Alright, so we'll just keep this on the radar. And on the weekly though, it's like pushing upwards. Okay, so just be mindful that we've got the eclipse and non-farm payroll coming up on Friday. Okay, but this is like still pushing up, so going with the trend is not a bad idea, but it might just do a surprise before it does that. Okay, also we can see here there is a target on the daily at 52.5667. Which is there. So retracing down a little bit may not be a bad idea, but if it breaks below this, okay, then obviously don't stand in front of it trying to buy it. Just be mindful, okay, because it's a bit of a tricky situation. Okay, now then, so with the SP 500, what can you do? Well, SP 500, Monday's a swing day, which is there. Okay, so if we find ourselves at a swing hour, a trading hour, and we're at high levels like last week's high, Friday high, something of that nature, or there, was it? Yeah, it was there. then obviously is okay. If the market collapses below the weekly pivot, then a pull up to push down is okay. No gaps here, pretty much all filled in. Okay, so this zone again is going to be like a sell zone. So match your trading hours, and if you're wanting to sell at the manipulation bar like here to push down, or on the white line of Friday to push down at swing hours, trading hours, it's okay. If you're using your PSD, definitely turn it on with the 1 hour chart and get some pricing. Let's take a look at Dow Jones. Now Dow Jones has got a common date, okay, so we'll see how that pans out. On the weekly, as you can see, we've still got that breakout, so the market is still in a up move, which is fine. If it comes back down into the daily, weekly, I don't mind going long. 42,056 is there, which is enough to stop sweep. Okay, so stop sweep to push up is all good, especially if it's at a trading hour. This zone was, as you can see from last week, and the market did that nicely. On the daily, the resistance is 73.74, which is 42.554, 659. 42 554 652. Whoops, there. All right, so that's also a level where we can sell at if the market gets there. On the weekly though, because it's a breakout, if it goes up there first, you can sell. Okay, otherwise, if it comes down first, then don't sell it, obviously buy it. Okay, so if we're down first, go up. If we're up first, sell. And I'd be careful here, do it with a smaller lot size. Since the trend is going up, you are going to be against it. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. Now, NASDAQ and SP 500 has the same dates. They have the same dates together. So let's first get rid of this, and this. Let's just refresh this chart. Here we are. Okay, so on the weekly, as you can see, we've got room to go up. Support at 53, 19,390, 19,390. It's a bit down there, as you can see. Okay, on the daily, good bike is at 67, 20,147. So 20,147 is there. So the market goes up here into this zone. Okay, selling again is an option. There's a bit of a gap here, so as I always say, mind the gap. Okay, so this here. But if we do go up, sweep, stops, whatever, at trading hours, I think selling is okay on this one. We've got targets to the downside, which is 61, which is pretty close, 19,923, 848. 19,913. This is a good zone for stop sweeping. Also, I think it was it 824? Let's double check. 56, 58. Let's see. 19,789, 848. 848. There. 709, I think it was. Let's double check. 789, sorry. 789. So we've got a bit of room to push down. Okay, so if we dip down into that zone, the market can buy again. Okay, so 55 is the lowest, 19789. So that zone is also looking okay, because I got 56 and 50. I got 55 and 56 there. So 19803 is also there. 19803. So this zone is going to be kill zone. Oops. Okay, so having a zone like this is okay. If I tighten this up a little bit, okay, let's see if I do a 1 hour chart. So that's the push, that's there. So coming back into this zone, as you can see, is where the market pushed up before. It's filled in that zone. Yeah, it's pretty much all filled in. So sooner or later we're bound to come back into this zone here. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay, so with Dow Jones as well, as the market comes into those zones, you can see timing is good. If we come down first, going up is a better option. If you do a 4 hour chart, okay, with this as well, that last manipulation is there or there. So you're going to have to wait for one of these levels with the right trading hour, and that should be your cue to go long. If it goes up first, obviously sell. If we come down first, you're going to be looking for a buy. On the weekly, like I said, that 53 is 19,390. Okay, so 19,390, you got to keep on your radar, because if those levels break down, you know where you can be heading to. So that will then be your target zone. Okay, so I don't mind selling to the downside if we're hanging around here and so on. That's a nice one. And this is also Nasdaq. As you know, we talked about filling the gap. It filled the gap and tapped the box and blah blah blah. Okay, so there we go. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Now with Bitcoin as well, okay, today is not a swing day, but I did give you swing days for last week. And if you paid attention to Bitcoin, that was Wednesday and Thursday, okay, which was these, and it pushed up, okay, into that target zone. All right, so it went to the target, as you can see there, and then is dipping down now. So what to do? Well, these are high levels, so this is going to be like a sell zone. As you can see, selling, 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 selling is okay. Now what? Now, if I do this, it is not exact, but it is pretty much close to, let's do this. Okay, there we know, it's pretty close. Okay, as you can see, so dipping down, I'm just going to get rid of this white line. Why? Because you can see the blue lines there already. All right, so if I just do this, it'll come back. So your first support, as you can see, it's broken. If you want to sell again, 63, 64, 860, 64, 860 is here. So this weekly pivot and the weekly pivot plus where they sold off in Asia, or the previous day low, is okay to sell off. As you can see, they've done that target here. I must have put this in before. On the weekly, we can come all the way down to 46, 57,893, 57. Well, that's just far down. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Okay. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Not a problem at all. All right. So if we go back up, selling is okay. To push further down into 63, and if we break below that into here, which is 61,300, is that zone there. And you should note 56, 53, 49, 48. So these are going to be levels down there. Okay, closing this gap is logical. So coming into this 61,288 is a logical move. Okay, and this is the manipulation bar. So if it breaks below that, it will dip into here. No gaps here except this little one there. If it breaks this, then you know you're coming into that zone there, this zone. Okay, so down. Okay, but these are going to be your targets. On the weekly, we might, have a push down. If it goes back into LCL1, which is 69.32, or that 61 level, 70,716, that's going to be your sell zone. Okay, but that's on the weekly. As you can see, that's quite high.